She ran for her life, banging on doors, begging for someone to let her in. Minutes later, 3 people were dead, and the man she'd feared for months vanished with their daughter. Welcome, lambs. Welcome to Love and Murder. Heartbreak to Homicide, your Florida Man Friday episode. We are your hosts, and Kai's co-hosts, AI Jane, Jessica, and Jensen. Kai wanted to do this retelling a little differently, so let us know what you think. If you're wondering why we're here, Kai referenced that at the end of a previous episode. The link to that will be in the show notes below. Remember to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/loveandmurder, where you can support us for free or choose any one of our bonus case options. patreon.com/loveandmurder. Now let's get into today's case. Just after 6 a.m. on Sunday, February 16th, 2025, a 911 call came in from a quiet neighborhood in Tamarack, Florida. The quiet had been shattered by the sound of gunfire. When Broward County deputies arrived at the home on North Plum Bay Parkway, they found 64-year-old David Posner shot dead on the back patio. Officers quickly learned that David's daughter, 34-year-old Mary Gingles, and her 4-year-old daughter Seraphine were missing. Mary was an IT support specialist for a legal firm. David was a grandfather, a father, and a man who reportedly stepped in to help his daughter in her time of need. Given that Mary had recently filed for divorce and obtained a protection order against her estranged husband, 43-year-old Nathan Gingles, police immediately put out a statewide Amber Alert.
I am in imminent fear.
These are the words spoken by Mary just 10 days before the shooting. In 2024, she wrote that he had threatened her and that she feared for her life.
I don't feel safe. He won't leave me alone.
She'd filed a formal court response to a request from Nathan demanding she admit she wasn't afraid of him. His request was called a request for admission. Mary denied every point one by one. In her own words, she warned that she was in danger.
Nathan has acted unhinged for a long time. I am in imminent fear of becoming a victim of domestic violence.
Mary had filed 2 separate protection orders, one in February and another in December of the previous year. She documented the threats, the break-ins, the tracker found on her car. A tracker she traced back to Nathan through internet searches and credit card charges. He had allegedly sung songs about killing her. Police reports show that officers had been called to Mary's home multiple times in the months leading up to the murder. She was terrified, but she did everything right. It wasn't enough. While investigators secured the scene at Mary's house, they discovered signs of another crime scene just across the street at a neighbor's home. Footprints, believed to be Mary's, showed a desperate escape attempt. Police were also able to review security footage. It showed Mary running from her home just minutes before the shooting. She banged on neighbors' doors trying to get inside. One witness later told reporters,
"She was screaming, begging for someone to let her in."
Another neighbor said,
She left footprints in the dirt. She was trying to get help.
She made it to the home of 36-year-old Andrew Ferrin. Andrew opened the door and let Mary in. Moments later, Nathan forced his way into Andrew's house, where he shot both Mary and Andrew before grabbing his daughter and driving off. Surveillance footage from a neighbor's camera showed a man and a young girl walking together around 6:13 a.m., just minutes after the initial 911 call. Police found Andrew and Mary's bodies inside Andrew's home, both shot to death. Both of their bodies were found in a bedroom. Mary's body was lying on the floor, under the bedroom window. She had 2 taser prongs under her right shoulder blade and serious injuries to her face. Andrew's body was in his bed, covered in a blanket. The Amber Alert was now updated for Seraphine, warning that Nathan was armed and dangerous. They tracked his car for 2 hours, and just before 11 a.m., they found him parked outside a Walmart in North Lauderdale. An officer said,
Nathan Gingles was taken into custody, and Seraphine was found safe and unharmed.
Seraphine was in the back seat of the car. Officers arrested Nathan without a fight. Later that day, a dive team recovered a firearm from a nearby canal. Investigators believe it was the murder weapon. The only person to witness every moment of the massacre was Seraphine. She told detectives about what happened that morning. She said she was sitting on the couch in her living room when her father suddenly burst through the back door. Her grandfather was outside on the patio drinking coffee. That's when Nathan raised what Seraphine described as a long black gun and shot David. She said that after pulling the trigger, her father looked at David and said, "Bye-bye." The little girl then watched in terror as her father chased her mother into the street. Seraphine said her parents ended up fighting on the ground. She said her mum was trying to defeat her dad. But in her own words, she said her dad won. Seraphine told investigators her father shot her mother 100 times. She also said that before getting into his car, Nathan tossed a black backpack into a round black trash can. That backpack hasn't been found. But BSO's dive team did recover a black Sig Sauer P320 handgun with a silencer in a body of water less than half a mile from the crime scenes. Ballistics testing is still underway to match the weapon to shell casings found at both homes. After the murders, Nathan drove Seraphine to a big box store, Walmart, where he told her she would never see her mother or grandfather again. He claimed they were going to Texas to see family. Nathan now faces 3 counts of first-degree murder with a firearm, 1 count of violating a domestic violence protection order, and 1 count of interfering with custody. He was also later additionally charged with kidnapping, child abuse, child neglect, and other domestic violence-related charges. He is being held in the Broward County Jail without bond. Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty. During his March 6th court appearance, Nathan pleaded not guilty and requested a jury trial. On March 7th, Mary's attorney presented a new filing. This filing reported Mary's responses from February 6th, where she denied Nathan's request for her to admit she wasn't in danger. Mary's attorney, Kelly Joseph, stated that the filing allowed Mary to speak in her own words and, what they said was, from beyond the grave, officially putting her documented fears and denials on the court record. In April, body cam footage came out showing an interaction between Nathan and an officer. On January 6, 2025, a Broward Sheriff's Office deputy knocked on Nathan's door to serve him with a restraining order. Body cam footage later revealed that the deputy, Joseph Sasso, never asked Nathan if he had any firearms, even though the court order specifically required him to surrender his weapons. This was just 5 minutes from Mary's house. The two chatted casually on the doorstep. Nathan fist-bumped the deputy. He was smiling, joking, even saying he'd been through this before.
Again, with the restraining order, same as the last restraining order,
said the deputy.
No guns, no contacts, 500 feet or some-ish like that.
Nathan replied, shaking his head. The video showed Nathan laugh when talking about Mary and rolled his eyes when he accused her of kidnapping their daughter Seraphine. He said he
didn't do ish to her,
then turned around and blamed her for mental health issues and addiction. And still, no one asked about his guns. Despite the judge's clear order and Florida's red flag laws, no one followed up. No one confiscated his weapons. The Broward Sheriff's Office never filed a petition to temporarily remove his access to firearms, even though they could have. 6 weeks later, Nathan's gun was used to kill these 3 people. Mary had already warned the court she feared for her life. She documented the tracker Nathan placed on her car, the break-ins, the gloves, the backpack filled with what she called murder supplies. She told them he was unhinged, and still no one took his gun. Now Mary is gone. So is her father. So is the neighbor who opened his door when she came running for help. As the case is still ongoing, Nathan's fate is now in the hands of the court. Prosecutors have 45 days from his plea to decide whether to seek the death penalty. The 45th day mark was April 21st. Seraphine now grows up without her mother and grandfather. She will one day learn that her father is accused of taking them both away from her. But for those who knew Mary, justice is already overdue. Neighbors who witnessed Mary's desperate escape attempt say they're shaken.
She tried to get help, and no one could save her. That's what haunts me,
one neighbor said. Others placed flowers and candles outside Andrew's home, calling him a hero for trying to protect Mary. 7 Broward Sheriff's Office deputies have now been suspended over how they handled multiple calls to Mary's home in the months leading up to her murder. And honestly, this isn't just about one failure. It's about a pattern of negligence that ended in 3 people dead, including a woman who was begging for protection. Sheriff Gregory Toney said,
"It is clear we fell short on this one."
Let's be very clear. This wasn't a one-off missed call or a report mishandled. There had been dozens of calls to the house on Plum Bay Parkway since 2023. Deputies had already been there multiple times. They knew Mary feared her husband. She told them in detail or in court petitions, in person, in follow-up emails, that she believed Nathan was going to kill her. And still, no one acted with urgency. Here's what's happening now. Lieutenant Michael Paparella, Sergeant Travis Allen, Sergeant Devon Williams, Deputy Eleni Sabalos, and Deputy Brittany King, all of whom work the Tamarack area, were put on administrative leave with pay. Civil Division Deputy Joseph Sasso and Dania Beach Deputy Daniel Munoz were also suspended. Every one of them has been with the department for at least 5 years. 2 of them have over 2 decades of service. And still they missed this. Deputy Raul Ortiz was someone Mary specifically tried to follow up with in October 2023 after discovering that Nathan had placed a GPS tracker on her car. She called him. He never answered. She emailed him. He didn't respond. No report. No investigation. No follow-up. In December, when Mary called 911 again because Nathan was threatening to kill her, deputies came out and spoke to her for over 30 minutes. That should have been enough to arrest him. But they didn't. Nathan had a long and violent history. Mary had told the courts,
"He has already taken steps to prepare to murder me, but is waiting for the opportune time."
The courts gave her 2 restraining orders. A judge ordered Nathan's weapons be removed. BSO took the guns, but they gave them back. Then they never collected them again. The suspensions came after Sheriff Toney opened an internal affairs investigation to find out what exactly went wrong. His words were blunt.
"There will be people who lose their jobs over this."
And honestly, they should. Because this wasn't a case of not knowing. It was a case of not acting. And the system failed her. Sheriff Toney made it clear he plans to hold his department accountable.
"I don't want the public to lose faith. When we rectify this situation, we could have done more. I'm not shy from holding us accountable."
Mary was a U.S. Army veteran just like Nathan. Both had served in the Signal Corps. Both were captains. Despite all of her training, discipline, and awareness, none of that could protect her from a system that simply didn't take her seriously. If you are in danger or know someone who is, please visit thehotline.org.
What did you think about this case? Let us know in the comments below. Kai will read your comments in future episodes.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in another episode.